What's up, YouTube? It is your girl Latrina, and I am back again today with another tarot spread read. And it looks like, starting off, we have the Three of Swords in the reverse, and we have a female, a young lady here that is in expectation of something, looking out of the window. And it looks like whatever she was expecting was maybe, you know, for you to maybe she's expecting you to heal from a Three of Swords. Because usually when that's in the reverse, that does speak of somebody that is actually coming out of a heartbreak, that is actually healing from heartbreak. And so maybe, there's some expectation of you are, of healing after heartbreak. Someone's in expectation of that. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles coming out with those cards as well, which does speak of self-sufficiency, single and self-sufficient. And then we have the unexpected income as the last card in that first row. So this young lady is in expectation of something. She is awaiting something. And maybe, due to some of these cards here coming out, she may be expecting you to be heartbroken or to not, recover from a heartbreak. That's the way that I'm seeing that. She did not want to see you. There's someone in this tarot spread that did not want to see you recover from a heartbreak, even though you are healing from a heartbreak. You are healing from a Three of Swords situation, but there's someone that didn't want you to heal as well. And then, next we have coming out is the Seven of Cups. And then, that comes with the message of witness. And we have a mature male that came out in that second row. Also with the Four of Swords, which speaks of, something came to rest, or someone is resting. I'm thinking that it has a double meaning there. When it comes to that Four of Swords, it may have something to do with this mature man putting something to rest. Maybe he was delusional at some point, because that Seven of Cups, it speaks of a lot of different things, and delusion is one of them. Even, with it having the cups there, and this witness, maybe this mature man has put some things to rest because of what he witnessed. Maybe he witnessed some things that made him, feel delusional. And if not, then he is delusional and he needs to put something to rest because of a witness. It goes either way. It can go either way. And the same with, all these cards, they go both ways sometimes. Just like some individuals. But moving on, we have the Five of Wands coming out in the third row, as well as the main female in the reverse. That Five of Wands speaks of conflict. And then we have the Attorney card coming out with that message. Attorney and Five of Wands meaning conflict. And then we have this Seven of Swords coming out, which, It deals with deception and lies, and it even deals with a failed attempt to unalive a person with this conflict. Maybe somebody tried to bring you to rest with a form of conflict. They tried to use conflict as, one of those emotional tools. Conflict was one of them. And somebody may even want some type of, maybe somebody is putting an end to the conflict with that 7 coming in the reverse. There's a possibility that someone can be wanting to put an end to the conflict and actually, some forms of forgiveness. They may be coming from this main female in the reverse. And maybe it's due to an attorney, and maybe the attorney, wants to put an end to the conflict. But there's still some conflict that's reflecting with this woman here, because that 5 of Wands depicts conflict. It's the card of conflict. Because you see, we have the 2 of Swords, which does depict some things that were not seen, something that could not be seen. And then we have this false person, which probably could not be seen. And then if you can see in the back, there's a man wearing a mask. So there's obviously some deception, some betrayal also, and some conflict. That's what this reading is speaking of. And then, right under that false person, we do get the card of the 6 of Pentacles in the reverse, which, speaks of that equal give and take, but not so equal when it comes out in the reverse. I used to, I formed a name, meaning the insufficiency is insufficient with this false person. There was something seen about this false person that was insufficient. It didn't quite make the mark. This false person, there were some things that weren't seen about her. She wasn't as sufficient as she claimed. How some people try to make themselves seem like a for sure, a real deal, and they're not. And she obviously is not that either. Coming out as a false person, that lets you know that she's deceptive. And then we got these cards coming right before her, and then her deception and her actual conflict, that she's caused with this insufficiency. Maybe she did, she couldn't produce some funds, because that 6 of Swords, 6 of Pentacles speaks of insufficient funds, And then in our last row, we have the Moon, which is in the reverse, which tells me that there are some secrets that may be coming to light. Also we have this 9 of Cups, which does speak of overindulgence. And it doesn't have to be in a substance or alcohol. It can be anything that was an overindulgence. And we have a main male coming out also with that row. So there was some aspect of something being overdone that was in secret. The Moon, but these secrets are actually coming out with this Moon card being in the reverse. It does tell me that the secrets are actually coming out about this main female being a false person. And I'm not sure if this mature man is the main male or if it's 2 separate males here. But there is some things that's being put to light when it comes to this main male. There's some secrets that's being released about this main male. Maybe it's about his overindulgence in something. What he may have did an overindulgence in deception and lies, and even conflict. There was an overindulgence of deception and lies and conflict. And it may, by having a main female and a main male, I'm thinking that these two, one of them, these two, probably had a lot to do with this attorney situation coming out with this conflict card and some things that weren't seen about the situation, about, there being no equal give and take with this false person here. Everybody was blind to some things that she was misrepresenting herself. She was wearing a mask. And no, it looks like this main male is the one that got the mask on in the background. It's the very exact same person depicted in both cards, main male. And he is showing up in the false person card, So he's a contender to be in a false person. And that stuff is starting to come to surface with this moon reverse. The moon releases the secrets, and it can be the keeper of secrets, depending on which way that it does come out in the spread. And this insufficiency, she just couldn't produce what she actually, stated, or what she actually proclaimed to be able to do. She just couldn't fulfill it. She was insufficient in that manner.